has thrown for 300 yards, 343 total, total over 2 games. Here's Robert Saleh on his expectations for the offense.
We recognize that we can be better, but we're still scoring. It's back-to-back games with 3 touchdowns, and which hasn't happened here in a long time, and we're still looking at it like, man, we got so much more in the tank, and all that's going to come. There's a lot of guys who haven't played football in a long time. There's a lot of guys who've been injured and out of the lineup. We're looking at an offense that's still trying to learn itself, find itself, and it's still able to generate scoring drives.
Okay, not on Thursday. Are you buying the Jets' offense will get much better than what you've seen?
It should be able to improve a significant amount. I mean, Aaron Rodgers just 2 games back. You would think he's going to get better, more comfortable. He really hasn't had that good chemistry yet with Garrett Wilson. You think that's going to come along. We saw improvement from week 1 to week 2 with the running backs. They got like a little thunder and lightning thing with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. So, yeah, I mean, and I'm not just saying this because I picked them to win their division, but I think objectively you should look at their players who haven't really played that great. They've been solid and say there's room for these guys to improve. And Mike Williams just kind of played more in game 2, so you would think if he's healthy, he'll play better too.
Yeah, there's some merit to what Robert said about them scoring 3 touchdowns in back-to-back games. They scored 3 touchdowns, I think, 1 time all of last season. So that in itself is a dramatic improvement. And the more time that Aaron is able to play with these guys, there should be a lot of growth. He does a lot of things at the line of scrimmage with the wide receivers that are subtle, and it comes from him understanding what they can do and them understanding what he's looking for, and they haven't had any of that. But now they're 2 games in, so that should improve. From a pressure standpoint, he's been sacked 3 times. He's only been pressured 10 times, which is the 2nd lowest in the league. Part of that is him being able to get rid of the ball, but that's a significant improvement as well. So with experience of them all working together, there's the value in having an older quarterback. Now, how dramatically better they can get, I'm not sure. I'm not totally sold on thunder and lightning. It might be, a little bit more of, like a drum beat.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Listen, I think the offense is going to be about this level of production throughout the year, because as I think they get more cohesive, their old injury-prone team will not be quite as healthy as it is right now. I'm not talking about Rodgers getting hurt, but you know what I mean? That they are as healthy as they will be all year. It's not like, oh, and this guy's about to come off the IR. That's not the case for them. The story with the Jets is the defense. And their next 3 games are against Jacoby Brissett, Nix, and Darnold. A little Sam Darnold revenge spot, possibly.
Really?
Your defense, if it is what I've been told it is, should win you those games by itself. If in your first 5 weeks you get Will Levis, Jacoby Brissett, Nix, Darnold, and another quarterback, I forget who, but I think he's around the similar caliber in your first 5 games. That was a joke. It was a Brock Purdy joke. But those 4 of those, and you have a top 3 defense in the league, which is why people swore to me they have. Then you've got to be 4-1, and so I just think they are what they. Saleh has some weird quotes. We're 1-0, we're 0-1, but we feel better than when we were 1-0 last year. We have so much more left in the tank. I just think they are what they are, which is almost the definition of an average team.
I agree.
I think they have an average quarterback, an average offense, an average defense.
I don't think anybody week 2 is who they are. I think it typically takes through the first month of the season to figure out who you are, and then you've got to lean into what you're good at.
That doesn't work for TV, though.
No.
Ball's out now.
My bad.
Bombs Caleb? Well, he has not. Completing just 18% of his passes 10 yards down the field. Not 20 yards down the field, bro. Not 30 yards down the field. Just 10 yards. It's like 1/6 of your deepest throw. It's worse in the league by a good margin. Bryce Young lost his job, unfortunately. I still believe in him, but still. Any panic?
Goff is a weird one on that.
Yeah, I know.
I thought you were just showing young quarterbacks at first.
No, I know.
But
Goff is kind of just out of the blue there.
That's a weird one. All right, what's your question?
Any panic?
No. So listen, I like to self-scout. Like, think about things I could do better or worse.
you
Like
did
Coach
well,
talks
things
about
you did
it.
poorly,
Coach taught me.
preparation
Coach
errors.
taught me this after one of my big poker losses.
Yeah.
I called Coach because I was needed money, and he was like, "Well, you should do an after-action report,
Yeah.
like things you did well, things you didn't." So I try to do that at times when it seems like a prediction may have gone awry. Like, where did I
That's
go
good. This is
wrong?
what gets you to the next level.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I realized, you know what, Nick? You need to have some accountability. All offseason, I was saying Caleb is walking into this amazing situation for a #1 pick. It wasn't the Bears' pick. It was
And a lot of people
saying that. And then 2 weeks in, I came on TV and I'm like, he needs more help. And it seemed like a very quick turnabout. And I think for the audience, it could be disorienting or whatever. And so here's where I've come down. I think I clearly overestimated the talent of the Bears' offensive line and overestimated how quickly Caleb would be excellent. Clearly, I think there's no doubt about that. Sure. But neither of those things make me want to panic, because I do believe Caleb, and I know Coach said yesterday the bar's on the ground, that's fine, showed substantial improvement from week 1 to week 2. I also think that when I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, I thought through 2 weeks they'd be 1-1. I didn't think they'd go to Houston and win. What I did think was they would cook right now on their schedule. And I don't know if we can pull the schedule up. If not, I can just tell you. Colts, Rams, Panthers, Jags, Washington, Arizona, New England. Those teams are combined 3-11. Those teams, to my eye, don't have a good, much less great defense amongst them.
Threw the Prince right under the bus.
And, well, no, I said defense. And the Jags, no. The Jags are a disaster.
My God.
The Jags are a disaster. And so I think that Caleb is going to improve once again week over week.
Sure.
I think that the Bears' offense will steady itself, that they will have spent all week trying to figure out how to block stunts and things of that nature, and they'll be fine. So, no, I'm not panicked. I still think he's excellent and going to be excellent. He has not played excellent at all. There's no denying that.
I'm not saying this to troll or anything.
Okay.
The only reason to panic is if you pick them to reach the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I agree with you. Long term, you shouldn't be panicking. It's early. But I don't see any reason to think this team is going to make the Super Bowl. And the defense is legit. Caleb's just hurting him, going through the rookie growing pains. I will say this, though, Nick, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit yesterday, because I thought he did show improvement. He was much better on schedule, and he was, when he did miss, though, a lot of open passes. I mean, downfield, he really was missing.
And DJ got frustrated.
Yeah, so we'll see what that is. But I said it yes. A lot of these rookies have come in recently and played better than Caleb. I'm sorry. Jaden Daniels is playing better now. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield, C.J. Stroud, obviously. Brock Purdy, the Mr. Irrelevant. Look at his first 2 games. First 2 games of Brock Purdy versus the first 2 games of Caleb Williams. Now, that's when Brock was a rookie. It was light years ahead.
Yeah, it was week 10.
Yeah, but he's still a rookie who was Mr. Irrelevant.
I got that.
I mean, he wasn't the #1 pick. He didn't light college on fire like Caleb does. And we've seen a lot of quarterbacks that were phenomenal in college not be great in the pros. And we've seen a lot of quarterbacks who were average or pretty good in college become great pros. So I'm just saying, I'm trying to have patience, but he's been remarkably bad, which is a little something you just look at.
Well, I disagree. Well, I agree with Nick that he set his expectations too high for a rookie quarterback. And I think that happens all the time, where there's this expectation that they're just going to walk in from college and be able to light up the NFL, and everybody puts the gold jacket on them. That's very common with where we are in today's football. And I don't love making excuses for them, like the offensive line is terrible. Okay, that's not necessarily the case. What I don't like the false starts. I don't like the delay games. I don't like the illegal procedure, those pre-snap penalties. That's a quarterback-related issue. I don't like the sacks and losing the game with the interceptions, having to make something happen. But in fairness to him, and I know you showed your 2-game comparison with Brock Purdy, let me show you another 2-game comparison as to why you should have patience with young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So here's Peyton Manning's. This is his very first start. So 56 versus 48. 1 to 3, 0 to 0. Look at the passer rating, and let's go to his second career start.
Another hat trick of interceptions. I thought about doing this, but
So
these guys were going to
there's
yell
6
at
of
me.
them, but
I'm glad you're doing
but
it,
the
Coach.
completion percentage is very similar. Peyton threw more interceptions, 6 through 2 games. The passer rating is